welcome back to my channel. So we're going to be talking about Nikita Noel. I believe they call her Jojo, the 9-year-old little girl that was taken out in Hanover, brutally. Condolences to her mom and her dad as well, all family members. So I'm just going to be looking at the report from the Jamaica Observer of Bethel United Church. Michael Lewis has made an impassioned plea for Jamaicans to expend more effort in protecting children, while warning parents that in refusing to listen to their children, they might unwittingly shield abusers. Children need our protection. Every child has a right to be protected from violence, exploitation, and abuse. So he said, my heart pains me when I turn the pages of the newspaper or log online to see children ages 7, 8, 9, 10 being taken out. Said Sunday during a special service to mark the 50th anniversary of Bethel United Basic School. Well, the bishop is basically saying that, we have to protect the children. It's our responsibility, right? And when I say this, and I'm sure he is saying this not to hurt the parents of the little girl who passed away a few days ago. Basically, he's sending out a message to all parents. The ones with teenagers, you still have to parent your eye on things and make sure that, you're connecting with your child. Make sure that they're protected every step of the way. Don't take anything for granted. I want to say to every parent, especially the ones out there in the rural areas, because the children in the rural areas seem to be more at risk as opposed to the one in the city. Not saying the ones in the city are totally protected. You still have to have your guard up and make sure you're protecting your children. All means you have to protect your children, right? Don't take anything for granted. When I was going to primary school, well, just to make a long story short, I went to stay with my aunt for the holidays in the summer. And my aunt said to me, why don't you stay with us in Silo? I'd like to, have you here with me. So I said, okay, I'll stay with my aunt. My aunt went out and bought uniform and everything. I went to Silo Primary for 3 months, right? My aunt, every single day, my aunt would come up to the school and meet both of us, 1719, me and my cousin, right? It was only a 5-minute walk to the house, and it's a straight road, no bushes or anything like that, because it was fairly there was homes around, right? And I remember at least 1 or 2 shops and a bar, and she would still come and meet us at the school and walk us home. And in the morning, she would walk us to the school, because she said, even if it's a 5-minute walk, you never know what can happen. And mind you, my aunt was not working, so she was able to do that, right? For parents who are working, then it is in your best interest, and of course your child's interest. Safety comes first. Get someone to do it on your behalf if you're working. If you're not working, there are no excuses, right? So you can just imagine what that little girl went through. It is just awful, horrendous, just one of the worst things that can happen to a child. So, in order to prevent these things, because remember, you're not in the community by yourself. There's other people there, and you cannot read their minds. You don't know what they're capable of. So you have to take the necessary precautions. A child passed away at my one of my kids' school, suddenly. And what they did was they got a stone and they put her name on it, and they planted flowers around it. It was a large stone at the back of the school. Or name a road in her memory, or community center. Do something to keep this child's name alive. Nikita Noel. She was here with us for 9 years, and we need to recognize our time here on earth, right? So it was very unpleasant, to say the least, to see how this child passed away, right? They're just like very barbaric people without hearts around us, and we have to recognize that, right? It was just horrifying, dreadful. It was one of the worst things I woke up to see, right? So these are the things that we have to do, right? Take precautions. Follow your child to the bus stop. Arrange for someone to go with the child to the bus stop. I said this before. A child was being taken, and a citizen realized that this child was being kidnapped, right? And they followed the taxi, and the taxi driver pushed her out of the car. Now, she was very smart to do that. She was a blessed child, because I don't believe like it was just luck, right? She had the presence of mind to keep one of her foot outside. I really believe that that was done intentional to alert others. Canute, he was walking by himself. Maybe he's done this hundreds of times, and then the parent would probably get comfortable saying that he'll be fine, not knowing that you cannot give any leeway to someone who would like to hurt your child, right? So you have to make arrangements for them to go in a group. The young children from primary level and under, I would get someone to pick up and drop that kid off. You rarely hear a child from the middle and upper class being taken out and just thrown on the road, of the side of the road like that. You rarely hear them being kidnapped and essay, you rarely hear them meeting this type of end, because the parents, they have cars and they're able to drop off and pick up. They're not going to let their child stand at bus stops, take taxis, and all of that. Those children, I would not call them privileged, but they're blessed to have parent with a car. If you don't have a car, like a lot of parents still don't have cars, right? And when you send your child out of the home and stand up at that doorway and tell that child bye, you are basically putting that child at risk. You have to walk with that child to the school, or get that child, someone to go with that child on your behalf if you're busy, right? You have to do it. The place is not safe. We already know about the murder capital and everything like that, so please take precaution. We have to protect the children. So what I would like to see going forward, if the Prime Minister, the government, could get more school buses for the children, especially the ones in rural areas. They're passing gullies, byways, bushes, dark areas, right? They have less lighting in the community as well, and they have to traverse more dangerous roads and stuff, right? The little girl, I keep just seeing this in my head. The one, I think she was somewhere up in St. Andrew. She was about either between 11 and 13 years old, and she was taken out and placed on top of a garbage pile. People's children. So you have to wake up and realize that the little girl that you love and adore, predator might not have the same, does not see it that way. You have to be the protector of your child, because no one else is going to do it, right? You have to make the necessary steps, take all the steps to prevent your child from being another victim. So many people are saying that they went in taxis by themselves and they were abused, assaulted by the taxi driver. I heard one guy on YouTube saying a taxi driver stopped and took him up in the rain and said, "Hey, where you going?" Not knowing that this person has some very dark ulterior motives, and he was assaulted in the worst way. You have to tell your children, don't speak to strangers, don't go in anybody's vehicle, and try to get the children as much as you can to walk in groups. If they're primary school children and under, the teachers have to now step up. Over here, they will not release the children unless the parent has picked up that child. I think it goes up to grade 5, where they don't allow them to come out of the school unless a parent picks them up, right? And you know that 95% of the kids, they would use the bus. The bus picks them up at school and drop them right, some of them right next to the house or very close to the house as possible, right? And then they would just walk in, probably just a few steps from the house, right? So it's really sad that the children still don't have school buses. Number one, the government is spending billions on crime. Spending billions on crime when that money could have purchased a lot of school buses, right? And it could be used for infrastructure. It could be used for training. It could be used to update the schools, because I'm still seeing even primary and high school, the school rooms need to be updated. They look just like they were in the 80s and 90s, right? Lots of primary schools still do not have indoor plumbing, especially in the rural areas. The government has to be spending billions to contain the crime, right? It's sad that the children are not protected. They're still babies. They try to change the rule that the child has to be picked up from primary school and under by a parent or guardian, right? And they will not be released out of the school because it is extremely dangerous for the children at this time to be traversing the roads by themselves. A lot of people now, they're mobile. They are driving cars. So some communities that was not being accessed by certain individuals, they are now being accessed. The highways are there. So they're jumping up on the highway, getting into community where were not being accessed before, do their dirt, and they exit again. Again, not saying it's someone out of the community. I'm just telling you how quickly it is now for people to move around because the roads are better and the highways are there. It could be someone in the community because they usually do their dirt and blend back in. So you cannot trust anyone. You really can't. And I would like to see a scholarship in this little girl's name. Don't let her name just go like that. Put something in memory of Nikita Noel. So we could do a scholarship or some, something, even something as simple as naming maybe a road or a trail or something with her name on it. A community center, something to show that we are going to remember Nikita Noel for years and years to come. As I mentioned, even something from the school, a plaque or a large stone with flowers around it, that would be nice as well to keep her in our memories, right? I would love to see that. And to the parents, my sincere condolences again to the parents of Nikita. A mother's pain, you cannot quantify it out the level of pain that mom is feeling, right? Because you know that when anything happens to your child, you feel it, like every fiber in your body. As a mother, you feel it, right? And it is one of the most horrific things that anyone could do to a child. We're sending our love to the mother of Nikita. I am so sorry that this happened to your daughter. And I'm asking all the parents, please do not go back to business as usual. So many times when I type in children who are taken out in Jamaica, a whole list comes up. Going to shop, coming from shop, going to school, coming from school. These are the most dangerous times for a child, and you have to wake up and recognize that. listen to Jada Kingdom's story, right? Pull it up and see what happened to her on her way to the shop or on her way from the shop. It is dangerous, right? And nowadays it's 10 times more dangerous than back in the 80s and 90s, right? Children were still assaulted back then. A lot of them are living with a lot of pain right now. Some have told their parents and some have kept it inside. Why do we constantly send children on errands by themselves to shops and to go to other people's home, bring me this, bring me that? And the parents, you should be getting up to go to the shop, right? And not exposing your child to all types of dangers on the road. So let us learn from this and try to protect the children. Don't let us go back to business as usual. It's like in everything, you hear a big, uproar, and then it gets quiet and nothing is done. We need you to take note and protect the children. The teachers, I would like the teachers to do their part, the Ministry of Education to do their part. Do something to protect these children from primary level and under. Don't release those children until a parent or a caregiver picks up that child. Somebody who is signed in, their names are there in the school. So mom and dad could put 2 other persons' name of, who are able to pick up the child or children. That way, of course, someone that you trust, right? And even though you trust this person, please take the necessary precautions as well, right? So that's all I have to say. And let's not forget little Nikita, right? And I'm going to do a little research. I'm trying to remember the child that they took out and put on the garbage heap. I would like them to do something to honor her as well, right? Not to let it go like that. We want to remember her, right? So anyone remembers her name, I think it was somewhere up in St. Andrew, walking to school, and someone attacked her. So we have to be smart. Be smart. We can't let the children out of the homes unprotected anymore. Don't let this go back to what it was before. Once all of this dies down, you're going to hear something again. I'm wondering if this person is a serial attacker, you know what I mean, committing essays, because I've seen this before, like a couple essays in Hanover, so against children. So this might be someone who is out there doing this type of thing, lay low and strike again the following year or 6 months, because I'm seeing a couple of attacks in the parish of Hanover. So let us take the necessary precaution and protect the kids. Thanks for joining me on this video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks to all the subscribers and the viewers. Your support is really appreciated. Take care of yourself and others. Bye for now. See you on the next video.